Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of Gupta Premium. I'm your host Darren Walters and it's great to have you here today on this lovely Wednesday. And what we're going to be talking about today is actually encompasses several subjects. But everything kicks off with the facts of the Finderdoodles. We already know from previous videos that Finderdoodles perform a wide range of actions and functions. And we're expanding that opportunity to yet another piece on the game board. And that particular game piece is this guy. Yep, your tractors. So tractors are standard issue, right? They're something that you have at the beginning of the game as a default. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. And what happens is the tractor throughout the game is actually vulnerable. It's vulnerable to two items. It's vulnerable to one, the adversity card that says tractor repair. You know, you get that tractor repair card and your tractor actually physically goes back in the shop. And that's that. And then the other opportunity for the tractor to be lost is during the bankruptcy procedures. So you file bankruptcy. Not only do you lose your best crop, likely in your weight cue tray, you lose 5 tokens to debts. So you place 5 tokens from the depository into the debt token, the token container. And then after that, you lose your tractor for a turn. And once you lose your tractor to a bankruptcy, a tractor return, what happens is other growers can roll the dice and determine who gets to borrow your tractor for a turn. So, bankruptcy we really want to emphasize is something you want to try not to have happen during your game. There may be circumstances where it does happen and it's through no fault of your own. Those are pretty rare. But yeah, so as we emphasize this, we want to demonstrate the counter action to that, and that's going to be placing the Finderdoodle on top of the tractor. And so if I use 2 actions, just like normal, to place an adult or baby or high full Finderdoodle, a high full Finderdoodle on top of the tractor, what that means is it's secure and safe from tractor return. So if somebody, if you end up with a bankruptcy and you pay your fines and they conduct the audit on you and you show them your stuff, what they can't do is they can't seize your tractor and use it on their turn after rolling the dice. Okay, so that's a great opportunity for the Finderdoodle. The other circumstance that this brings up is the adversity card tractor repair, which I happen to have right here. So if you'll recall, the tractor repair states that no tractor is available for 1 round of play. So it's essentially a lose a turn. And if that gets played on us, and we have the Finderdoodle, well, what happens is, it has no effect, and more importantly, the person gets to roll the dice again. So you drew an adversity card. You apparently rolled a die roll 1. Well, if you happen to have the Finderdoodles on the tractor, then you can go ahead and roll the dice again, and then whatever that number is, you have to take, even if it's another draw die roll 1. Okay, so that takes care of that. The other circumstance we want to cover is if somebody else has a tractor repair card and they play it on you, the person with the tractor and the Finderdoodle on top of the tractor. Well, everything happens as normal. They would play the card, it would go to the discard pile. But instead of having an effect on you, what happens is the Finderdoodle, of course, is warded off the adversity card, and there's no die roll after that. It's simply a wasted card, and then the other grower resumes their turn. Okay. All right. So that covers basically, in a nutshell, the tractor return, tractor repair, and Finderdoodles on the tractor, and drawing the tractor repair card and getting it played against you. What are the scenarios? Ways to resolve that. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for this week. I'm getting closer to publication. I'm printing another prototype just to tighten the nuts and bolts and make sure just everything is perfectly laid out for you before we go to publication. And then, of course, we want to make sure that all the different pieces fit together, all the different layouts for the rule books, the guides are set in place. And we also want to make sure that the components fit within the new box size. If you'll notice my box, I don't have it with me right now, but it's the dimensions are 12 by 9 by 3. And that's proving to be just slightly too small. It doesn't quite comfortably fit all the components that I packed into Oofta to make it the outstanding experience that I want to share with you, family and friends, and the entire world. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to showcase, when I get it, the correct box size, or the corrected one, which is going to be 12 by 9 by 6. So that may be bad news, you know, if you're really trying to strategize for shelf space with your board games. I apologize in advance for a bigger box, but that was just it was a coincidence of the publisher. They for some reason skipped an inch increment. They skipped 2 or 3 inches increments, and the next smallest box size besides the one that I had is 12 by 9 by 6. So it's going to be more like a box rather than a rectangle, which is, you know, it is what it is. I've worked too hard on this to come this far and then not see it through to fruition, I can tell you that. So all systems go, and we're looking forward to a new prototype, and potentially I've also kicked around the idea of starting a Kickstarter campaign or an Indiegogo campaign. Those are some options that were presented to me, and I'm still kind of gathering information on those to make sure, just so I'm clear about liability and who's responsible for what, because there's something deeply unsettling about maybe collecting money from people without guaranteeing a return on investment. So I'll have to look onto that some more, but I can tell you, Oofta will rival anything in your collection, and it should be pretty engaging, pretty awesome fun. Okay, so that's going to do it for me in this week's session of Oofta. Till next time, keep on playing till I see you then. Stay safe, stay COVID safe, and have a wonderful spring, summer, and autumn now. All right, see you later.